Roger that.
Hello, welcome to, this is actually the third, the
You got
first
that?
podcast for Stand for Something. We are very proud to be sponsoring the We Are One Foundation for the month of July. We're rolling out new gear. It's red, white, and blue gear, and with every purchase, 10% goes to We Are One. And also, a bracelet will be donated to a vet, and the person ordering the gear from Stand for Something will also get a bracelet. So we're excited to have Matt Nugent here today. He is the founder of We Are One. We're going to spend just a few minutes with him. He can explain to us what that is. And Matt, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Tammy, today?
Good. I'm very good. I'll also add that Matt, oops, I'm going to turn my phone off here. Matt is my brother. So we know each other pretty well. Yeah, he started this this foundation a couple years ago. It's really starting to take off. I thought it would be, since July is all about independence and freedom, that we would bring him on board to stand for something and do some support work for the vets, because hey, they need us too. Okay, Matt, I'm going to hand it over to you. Tell us a little bit about you, and what gave you the idea and the passion to create this.
Okay. I was a 10-year veteran in the United States Navy in the Medical Corps, based out of San Diego, California, for the most part. After I had left the military, I started to recognize transition issues. And there's a lot of veterans that have problems with their transition from military life to back to the civilian sector. So it gets a little bit tricky. So I did recognize a lot of that at that point in time, but I wasn't influenced to it the same way as I was when I attended some treatment programs through the VA for PTSD, anxiety, and depression. And when you get right into it, you start to go ahead and you're constantly every day working and talking with other veterans and that have had really, really hard times through their transition period. It seems like that there's really two main points where veterans have a lot of issues. One is in the transition period and one is way after. So maybe it might be 15, 20 years after, they did their deployments and, they left the military. So there's two main points. Well, I got a chance to spend time with a lot of veterans that had either considered suicide, attempted suicide, or knew somebody that was a fellow veteran that was I don't want to say successful because that's not a good word for it, but they were able to complete a suicide attempt. And so when I was going through this program and I was speaking with a lot of counselors and whatnot through the VA, and more so with veterans that have had some rough patches. Sometimes no one even knows that your friend that's a veteran or family member that's a veteran is having a hard time because they don't tell you. But when you're in this environment, you talk about it all the time. And so I decided to go ahead and dedicate my time. I actually had a dream, and it was about this bracelet and about the average at that point in time were 22 veterans a day that would commit suicide. So that 22 stigma was out there and seems to be kind of floating around. Sometimes they say the numbers are higher, sometimes they're lower, but the point of the matter is if we're losing one veteran to suicide, we already are losing too many. So I made these bracelets with the concept of 22 beads total, and one green one in the middle. And that green one represented the veteran. And the idea was to get as many of these bracelets out there to as many veterans that could have them, to when they're having a bad day, they can go ahead and look at that bracelet and say, you know what, there's another veteran out there wearing the same bracelet, looking at it maybe at the exact same time that I am, and they could be across the country. So the more people that you could look at that bracelet and say, I'm not alone. We are one. We are one big, massive family of veterans. And so I started that and was had some great response, and a lot of veterans. I made as many of them as I could keep up with. As of right now, there's over 4,200 bracelets that are out there around the country. The vets loved them so much, but they were wearing them all the time, which is a good thing, but they were made out of wood beads. So they would wear them in the shower, or go to the pool, or go to the beach. So they started to get a little worn. So I shifted that over to a plastic strand and plastic beads. And it's got the same kind of concept. It's not necessarily 22 beads because I wanted them to be bigger and smaller so everybody could wear them so it would fit. So they're all plastic now. So you can wear them wherever you want to. You can wear them on the surface of Mars, and I sure don't think you'll have a problem with it. So it's transitioned into that. The We Are One Foundation also has connected with the Vet to Vet Society and our meetings, which is basically veterans talking about life. And then also the Alive Inside organization out of New York. We're working together with them to go ahead and work with veterans on that level. So, and of course, stand for something. We can't go ahead and forget about the beautiful work that's happening with you, Tammy. So in a nutshell, if I could go ahead and put it together, that would be primarily it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It sounds like, you're doing what you're meant to be doing. And
Mhm.
the dream that you had, I'm sure, a lot of people can relate to how things get born
Mhm.
by a calling. And it sounds like certainly you've had one. So do you have a vision for where you would like this to go? What do you,
Yeah.
how are you making that happen?
Well, the see, the thing about these bracelets, they're super cheap and super easy. And so, it's not hard for me to send these out. And it means so much to me that it's not even a question, not even a problem. I've got people donating and whatnot to try to keep this movement going forward. But the next thing is technology, and how the Alive Inside Foundation out of New York, they have a lot of productive financial support. And what they are uh, considering doing, and I think they're actually moving through it, is having like a bracelet with a bead in it that would be for veterans, that has a chip on the inside of the bead. And so you can walk up to these kiosks anywhere and you can log into the We Are One Foundation through Alive Inside, and you can go to your group's page, and you can say, hey man, I'm having a good day, or I'm having a bad day, and write down what your feelings are. And then other fellow veterans can go ahead and get on it through kiosks, computers, cell phones, and go to that same one. And it's a great big open meeting. And so you can respond to somebody's good day or bad day, and everybody becomes this, interconnected family. So, and that's work, but we have backing and we have support. I also, through the Alive Inside, or the We Are One Foundation, that site, there's ways to go ahead and join and connect and have those conversations. And also the Harden site is something that I'm looking at doing, as well as further building that to be one central veteran location where you can just get on and just talk within us, and it's not open to anybody else, it's just veterans. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of irons in the fire right now, so we're getting there.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So You have a Facebook page where people can join that and
Yeah.
find out more about you.
Yeah, yep, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can go through my page, which is Matthew Nugent at facebook.com or whatever, go into Facebook, you can find me, Matthew Nugent, and you'll see my picture on, of course, my screen. And then you can go through the link to get to We Are One, or you can go into Facebook, just do a general search and look for capital W, small e, the capital letter R, one, W, or I'm sorry, ONE, and then the number one. So again, it's We Are One with the number one at the end. And you'll see the picture of the bracelet that's on the screen for it.
Okay. All right. That's very excellent. And I'll also add that you can get to Matt's Facebook page through the link that's on standforsomething.org as well. And you can learn more about the We Are One collection, red, white, and blue collection on standforsomething.org with every purchase. Again, 10% goes to We Are One. You receive a bracelet and a vet receives a bracelet on the behalf of your purchase. So thank you, Matt, for doing what you're
welcome.
doing. We honor that.
Absolutely, I'm glad to be part of it.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything, and I'm loving working with you. We'll do some good work.
Yes, absolutely. Let's keep on cruising. Hoorah.
Hoorah. All right. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep vibing. Mwah. Bye-bye.
When you got a passion, been on for so long, and everything around you starts to go wrong.